Welcome. Welcome everyone. I'm sure there'll be people joining us later or late or whatever, but for right now I want to get started because I do have a packed agenda that I'm going to attempt to get through within the next 60 minutes. Just wanted to start off with thank you for everyone for joining me today. I just want to introduce myself. Most people that have been following me on my social media for quite a while, my name is Monica. Let me see, the best way to introduce myself would be I am a fitness enthusiast, a grandma to 3, a mom to 2 adult daughters. I've lived a long life full of lessons and trials and tribulations that have helped develop my character into who I am today, and I enjoy teaching others what I've learned, what I've experienced, and sharing my journey to hopefully inspire those that feel lost or that feel misunderstood or feel stuck in their experience and not believing that they can grow from whatever it is that feels challenging or that feels that's weighting them down. Why did I choose today during a Gemini new moon? Not sure. I know quite a lot of people don't really believe in astrology, and that's okay. There are different practices for everyone, and astrology for me is just one of many tools that help me understand this earthly experience a bit better. For Gemini in particular, and I did write some notes because I have a tendency to go on a tangent, and I'm a no filters kind of gal, so my notes are going to help me keep me in line. New Gemini is associated with communication, learning, new perspectives, and new beginnings. So that's kind of like the reason why I chose today, this new moon in Gemini. Just replenishing the energies and choosing to not necessarily wipe the slate clean, because we always carry our past with us, but just choosing to use this day to put the past behind me and continue to move forward. I think for me, after this past year, it's felt like so much has happened and I've kind of went MIA for quite some time, that today I felt was a good day to start fresh and kind of share my story for those who feel inclined to want to know or just hear from my story. And so yeah, this past year really challenged me, my identity. Tonight isn't about reliving the pain. It's about reflecting on what I've learned and how I've changed and where I'm headed next. I've always shared my fitness updates because for me, movement has been one of the ways that has allowed me to recenter after every experience that I found either traumatic, unsettling, disappointing, whatever it may be. I think fitness for me has just helped me find my center and feel more grounded and present and connected to source, to whoever you call the higher being. Fitness for me is what helps me get there. For some people it's prayer, and not to say that I don't pray, but I think for me movement is a form of prayer. I wanted to do a quick little chair yoga for those of you who want to follow along, or you can just watch. And I just wanted to show a basic little routine. I was gonna do a floor sequence, but I tend to do some extreme movements, and I recognize that a lot of my following are in the very basic stages of yoga or movement or fitness, and I just wanted to incorporate something that could be accessible to all. So I think chair yoga, you can be seated, already comfortable. It's about maybe 15 minutes or so. If you want to just get settled in, find a comfy spot. You can sit on the floor if you're already seated on the floor. A chair is fine as well. Just want to give us a few minutes to sit, to feel ourselves planted, our feet on the ground. Just giving ourselves a few moments to sit still, to recall the day or the last week or the last few months for some, and just for a moment just put that all on pause and just be here, be present, sit with our breath. And as you take a few deep breaths, just settle into your body. Just focus on what you're feeling, what sensations are coming up for you. Slow inhales. And as you inhale, your body will naturally exhale, releasing anything that feels trapped. And with every exhale, just feeling your body just feel calmer, more relaxed, more settled into your body. Now we're going to begin just rolling our neck in circles, slow and gentle. Slow, just feeling every stretch and reverse. Just feeling the sensations, staying connected, staying present. Then we're going to take this moment, we're going to start with the left. We're going to move our head towards our ear, touch it to our shoulder, our left shoulder. Feeling the stretch alongside the neck. Breathing in slowly, exhaling slowly. Move over to the other side, your right ear to your right shoulder. Again, you're feeling the stretch along your neck. And again, left ear to left shoulder. Feeling the sensation, remembering to stay present. Allowing the thoughts to come in and letting them go, no attaching to anything that comes into mind at this time. The goal is to be present. Again, right ear to right shoulder. Then we're going to do some shoulder rolls. Do it with intention. Moving your shoulders way up to the ceiling, way back, and then bring them forward. Way up, way back, and way forward. And reverse. Again with intention. Then we're going to take our arms, we're going to do some eagle arms. We're going to give ourselves a hug. like to give myself a nice, tight embrace. You want to feel the resistance. You'll feel the stretch on your shoulder blades. Let's give it a moment. Let's let your muscles stretch out, relax. Staying present in your body, feeling the sensations that come up. Release. Switch arms. Again, embrace yourself. I don't know about you, but I'm a touchy person. I don't necessarily like people touching me, so touching myself is one of the ways that I can produce my own bit of oxytocin. And also feel the stretch and let go of any tension that's building up in my shoulders. Another one you can do with your arms is wrap, bringing your right arm underneath your left, aligning with your nose, and pull down as best as you can. With no discomfort, you just want to feel the stretch. Again, this is an amazing, amazing stretch for your shoulders and anything that may be building up on your neck and shoulders. Switch. Left arm under right. And pull down. Breathing in gently. Exhaling gently. Staying present. Paying attention to what sensations come up, what emotions come up. Just calming your mind. And release. Other one I like to do in a chair. This could be done at the office. This could be done while you're in a meeting. Honestly, I've even done it stuck in traffic while I'm sitting in my car driving. It's a chest opener. You can hold on to the side and pulling out your chest, clenching your shoulder blades, almost like you're trying to hold a pencil in between your shoulder blades, making sure that pencil does not drop. Squeezing tight. Opening up. You can pull your head back just to let yourself relax into it. And release. The other one I like to do, this one, you move to the edge of your chair. We're going to go ahead and do cat-cow. And I can't touch the floor, so I have to put my feet up on this stool. But here, you want to place your hands on your knees. And you want to arch your back. And as you arch your back, you want to start looking down to your feet. Arching your back, stretching your arms. Feeling that stretch alongside your spine. And then move out. Pulling your chest forward, arching your back, looking up, breathing in, breathing out. And again, arching your back, stretching your arms forward, keeping your face and your eyes aligned, looking towards your feet. And again, exhale, arch your back, extend, stretch, open your chest to the sky, looking up, and release. Another one I'd like to show you is some gentle seated twists. A lot of you guys should know this one, I hope. It's just seated position. Move your arms over. If you don't have anything to hold, that's fine. You can actually wrap your hand, but just stretch. Looking over to your right, over your right shoulder, as far as you can, with no discomfort, with intention, but with ease. Breathing into it and release. Move over to the other side. Same thing. You can hold to your seat. Use the back for some more resistance, and look over your left shoulder and stretch. Breathing. Don't hold your breath. Look over your left shoulder and feel the stretch. And release. Other one I like to do, I love working my hips. And did you know that there's a way to work your hips while you're seated? While you're seated in a chair, I should say. This one, I want you to take your leg, your foot, move it over to the side, and just lift and rotate. Make circles while you're seated. This one shouldn't be causing you any pain. If it does, you can do smaller circles. If you want to challenge yourself, make bigger circles. And rotate. And relax. Just go over to your left. Do the same thing. Make circles. Release any resistance to the day, to whatever emotions are disturbing your thoughts. Rotate. And release. This next one, before we go finish up, you should open up your legs. We're going to do a forward bend. Forward fold, forward bend. We're just going to stretch down to the floor. Release your head. Shake your head out, your neck. Feel the stretch on your arms, on your back. You can use the chair's legs for resistance if you want to pull yourself down further. And release. Now I invite you to put your hands over your heart in remembrance for honoring ourselves, for taking care of our bodies, our minds, for welcoming our higher selves to remain present, to feel grounded, to feel the connection with Source. Just a few breaths of intention, releasing what no longer serves me, inviting all that's meant for us. A couple more deep breaths here. Settling in, relaxing your shoulders, your legs, your feet, every inch of you, just feeling it. Relax. Okay. All right. You guys feel calmer? Hopefully. I'm gonna move over to the floor now. Just for me. This is just my preference. The chair was just for the purposes of the stretch session. We're gonna move over to my update. I'm gonna turn this. I guess I can play this. I'll lower it though. Okay. Let me take this off. I prefer the floor. I'm not sure if you've noticed, but I like doing all the floor stuff. I'm more comfortable this way. Let's see who's here. Hi, hello. Hi, Layla. Hi, Paul. My baby's here. Hi, Dwayne. Okay. I have a timer here because, like I said, I got an hour. We're 40 minutes now. Can you believe it? Already 20 minutes have gone by. Wonderful. Okay. Oof. So why I'm here? I wanted to go on live because I don't know, for those of you who have followed me along the last few years, I have really enjoyed using the headstand posture as a tool for me to kind of gauge where I am within my center. Headstands used to be a real challenge for me, and I mastered them a few years ago, and mastering them for me meant I had a nice strong core, I had strength, resilience, and it showed me how present I could be, because you really do have to be present in order for you to hold that line. So I just wanted to take the time, especially this past year, I kind of took a break with a lot of that. A lot of my fitness goals got put on hold while I was tending to my wounds in a more solitude way. As you all know, as a lot of you know, I got married last year in May. Not many knew of the courtship because it wasn't very long. I knew my husband for quite a while, but I was a bit of a recluse. I was not interested in dating. I had been abstinent for almost 5 years, no dating, no physical intimacy. I was just focusing on myself and my family, and just learning how it feels to be single, to be in my own space, in my own company. So this man approached me last March, or March of 2025, and gave me an offer I couldn't refuse. In my years of dating, I had never been married, but in my years of dating and being in relationships, I kind of revamped how I viewed relationships and what I felt I wanted in a relationship and in a partnership. It was not about feelings. It was not about emotions. It was about partnership. What true partnership entails. It's just not to sound materialistic, but reciprocal. What can we do for each other? How can we support each other? Even outside of a romantic feeling, could we do this thing called life together? So that's how I went into it with my husband. We decided back in March that I was going to give him an opportunity to see if we had chemistry, enough compatibility to see if it would work. And by April, I had decided, okay, you know, it doesn't feel completely off. My heart was still open. I was willing to risk it all, for lack of a better word. And we got married in May. Very soon after. I chose love despite prior heartbreak, and I believed that I was beginning a new chapter. I really believed that, and I still do, I was placed in that position for the right reasons. I learned that hope is beautiful, but hope alone cannot sustain a relationship. I learned that very quickly. Reality eventually asks us to see what's actually here. So shortly after I got married, it was already understood that I would be going to Puerto Rico for a year. My intentions for going to Puerto Rico was to pursue an opportunity that I couldn't refuse. I was going to house sit and help manage a home, a beautiful home in the mountains of Juncos. I don't know if many of you have seen some of the videos I've shared, but that property is absolutely breathtaking. If you want to find peace and a level of spirit that you've never had before, let me know. She is renting it out at Airbnb. I would recommend that space to anyone. But I went there with the intention of pursuing an opportunity to manage a space that could cater retreats, workshops, yoga sessions. It was something that I had wanted to do for many years. I'm still feeling called to do. It's just, I recognized soon after getting there that life in Puerto Rico was not what I expected it to be. It was much more challenging than I had hoped, and it just looked different in practice than I had envisioned it. And so I returned home earlier than expected. I returned in July, and I began to settle in as a wife back in Massachusetts. The lessons that Puerto Rico, being in Puerto Rico and leaving that opportunity would have taught me was flexibility, listening to my intuition, knowing when to pivot, and releasing attachment to plans, just surrendering. I think that was the best way I can describe it. I just learned that the best thing I can do right now is surrender. I still have hopes to returning to Puerto Rico and anchoring myself in that land and seeing if I can make it into something that I still have here in my mind and my heart. I can tell you that when I say listening to my intuition was so important, in the months after returning from Puerto Rico, I was able to connect with my husband in a way that it was indescribable. Remember, he was technically still somewhat of a stranger to me when I married him, but I was ready for partnership, and I was committed to partnership, whether long distance or under the same roof. In the short months we were together, we shared many intimate moments, from his 40th birthday in October to our honeymoon in Miami in November, to spending our first Christmas together with my daughter and grandchildren. Those were the very last memories I have of him. Oh my goodness. And I was hoping not to cry, because he did pass unexpectedly December 30th. And as I try to describe this next phase, it was more of, it was just a shock. I had never experienced such a loss in my life. No one. I have not lost anyone that close to me. Nonetheless, finding him, coming home, and him having passed at such a young age. I was confused. I was lost, and but yet, what was unexpected for me is that I recognized the lesson even then. It's almost like I had been preparing for such a moment in my life. Excuse me. What grief felt like to me was numb to start, was in denial, it felt like I was observing myself going through it. Like it didn't happen to me personally, it happened to somebody I knew. That's the best way I can describe it. And the best thing that I could do was I nurtured myself as I would a friend that had lost someone, and that's what I began to do. What helped was just what helped was silence. What helped me was continuing to nourish myself in the smallest ways I knew how, whether it was staying warm, eating a good meal, or just spending time in solitude, just with my thoughts and my feelings, just sitting in it. What surprised me was that although I was distraught at the fact that the vision I had for my future had been upended, a part of me felt and knew and believed that he was in a better place. I know that the closest person to him was his mother, and she had passed when he was only 23. And that's honestly one of the only things that brought me peace, in that because that man worked hard and he gave selflessly and he loved unconditionally. I am forever grateful to have been partnered up with such a human being. Whew. Okay. I can tell you that also through that experience, you know, as traumatic as it was, as disconnected as I felt, you know, that's just a trauma response. That's how we protect ourselves. I did feel the impact of that loss. My body felt it. My mind felt it. So this last few months, I had just been moving in a way that just felt authentic to me at the time. What was harder with that is some of the things that come up after someone close to you passes. After his passing, I learned things that challenged what I believed my marriage had been. And that created a second layer of grief. I'm not only grieving a person, but grieving a version of reality I thought existed. And then I recognized that two things can be true. I believed he loved me. I believed he was a great man. But we are imperfect human beings. And people are complex, and life is not black and white. What else would I want to share about that experience? Let me see, any questions? Good, thank you. Okay, and then through that, as I was healing, I had an unexpected encounter soon after his passing that I honestly, it wasn't planned. It wasn't part of my story. It wasn't intended in any way. It was in a moment of my life that I was honestly seeking solitude. I had the intention of spending some quiet time with myself, and God just sat him next to me at a restaurant, and we connected so naturally, authentically, and the chemistry just blossomed from there. And this was a new connection I met after my husband's passing. It was in a moment that I felt deeply vulnerable. I was grieving, lonely, and trying to make sense of life. I guess it was a opportunity to have an experience that felt like wasn't part of that traumatic part of my life. I guess you can call it an escape. It made me realize that as human beings, we instinctively seek connection as much as I enjoy enduring alone, if you want to call it that. Grief doesn't follow a schedule. It is not linear. There were moments where I was good, and there were moments that I had to go back into my hole and mourn some more alone. And how loneliness can influence our choices. I felt shame for a while after that. I felt embarrassment. I felt judgment towards myself, and also comfort. And then to add to that layer of grief, I learned that I became pregnant. And unexpectedly, unintended again. And this feels like the messy part of my life, but I recognize that part of me wanting to show up for my family, my loved ones, my friends, the people I want to work with, the people I want a part of my life. A part of that was showing up authentically and with intention. And a part of that is taking accountability for my choices. In becoming pregnant, I was shocked. I thought I was going into menopause, if I'm being honest. I never once expected for that to happen so suddenly, with someone I barely knew. And then shortly after that, just feeling a sense of hope. I almost felt like I was being given a gift, and then it was taken from me, and I had a miscarriage and required a medical abortion soon after. And even in that, not to say that I didn't feel grief, but it's more to say that I understood the lesson and I accepted it with full responsibility. The experience forced me to confront my hopes, my fears, my desires for motherhood, partnership, and family in a way that I wasn't prepared for. And the confusion and the judgment, the biggest thing was the judgment of others. For someone to feel, for me at least, I recognized that I pride myself in image, in conservativeness, and this felt very shameful. This felt very full with regret, full with judgment of myself. And then in sitting with all that, I have been learning self-compassion, accountability without self-punishment, discernment, boundaries, very much boundaries, slowing down and trusting myself again. My intuition never shut off. I was just choosing to soothe myself in ways that felt familiar, recognizing that my connections in these last few decades, I've always followed what felt familiar. And in that, I can move into how some of the tools that helped me understand my experience, astrology. I know taboo, witchy woo-woo. But I can tell you that one of the unexpected places I found myself seeking understanding this year was through astrology. Not because it could take away my grief or what to do next, but because it helped me step back and look at relationships in a greater light. Like, I was able to understand the intensity of the feelings that would come up with some people versus others. For much of my life, I experienced a handful of connections that felt incredibly significant. The kind of connections that change you. Like when I tell you, when people talk about soul connections or karmic connections or trauma bonds, I can literally show you in a chart. If you give me your both partners' date of birth and birth times, I don't even need the birth times sometimes. I can literally show you why that partnership or that connection feels so significant. And that's not just romantic. That is in your professional setting. That is with your siblings. That is with family. That is in every area of life. Through studying synastry and relationship astrology, I began to understand intense attraction and chemistry. And even profound growth can show up in many different connections throughout our lives. The realization for me was freeing. Because at that point, because I have the kind of background and upbringing that I have the tendency of holding on to relationships longer than I should. Astrology helped me put each connection that wasn't serving me into the perspective that it needed to be, and which helped me disconnect and move on when I felt it wasn't serving my highest good. It challenged the idea that there was only one person meant for us, and that the intensity of a connection automatically means it's meant to last forever. Because that was the thing for me. It's like, oh my goodness, I love this person. I feel so familiar. I feel so natural, so instinctive. Like, this has to be my person. Astrology taught me that happens more than once. That happens as many times as you need for you to learn the lesson that we are whole as we are by ourselves. It taught me that some people arrive to awaken us, some arrive to teach us, some arrive to heal us, to heal something within us, and some arrive to build a life with us. That's honestly the biggest lesson, biggest takeaway that I got from using astrology for my experience. One of the greatest lessons this year has been learning the difference between a powerful connection and a compatible one. That was another big takeaway for me. Today, I'm less interested in whether a relationship feels fated and more interested in whether it is healthy, reciprocal, honest, emotionally available, and capable of sustaining a shared life. I've learned that chemistry can bring two people together, but character is what determines whether they can stay together. So that goes with observing character, not feelings. As I move into my 44th year, I'm becoming less focused on finding someone who feels like a soul connection and more focused on becoming someone who can recognize character, consistency, integrity, and emotional maturity when they appear. One of the biggest questions I've asked myself this year is how to continue serving others while still being human, a human being having my own messy experience. I think that was the whole thing with the whole self-judgment and the reason for me not feeling worthy of showing up, of putting myself out there, is I felt my life was so messy. How can I be of use? How can I be of service? How can I help anybody else? And my experience really did help me that helped me see that I don't need to be perfect to help others. That I can still practice what I preach and still be faulty, be human. I can learn publicly and privately, and I can align my business with my lived experience. Letting integrity come from honesty rather than image. That's the biggest thing that I'd like to take away this year, is being raw and vulnerable and open with my experience, instead of trying to uphold an image that it's not true. What I'm choosing now is health, stability, self-sufficiency, financial independence, community, discernment in relationships. Just giving myself time to get to know people, and not run off chemistry. Discernment within relationships. Joy without guilt. Just allowing myself to feel pleasure without feeling like I am sinning. Strong word. What I'm releasing, one more thing that I'm choosing is purpose without performance. I am living in my purpose without feeling the need to perform. To perform for love, to perform for friendship, to perform for acceptance. I am not performing. I am coming as I am, and I will be accepted, or I will move to a space where I am accepted. What I'm releasing is shame, rushing, proving myself, saving others, and ignoring red flags. Making decisions from loneliness is another thing that I am choosing to work on this year. In closing, I'd like to ask, I'm sorry, it seems my connection is not so great. One question I'd like to leave you all with is, have you ever had a year that completely dismantled the life you thought you were building? And if so, what helped you begin again? That's a question I'd like to leave you all with. The most powerful version of this live is not what happened to me. It's how these experiences changed me, what they taught me, and who I'm becoming because of them. And I'm grateful for every inch of experience that I got to endure, because without it, I would not have been able to peel away at the layers of getting to know myself better and better. And I am done a little bit early, so that's cool. And I just want to open it up to any questions, if you have any. And I did see that my connection kind of dropped off a couple times, so the live, I apologize. So hopefully it saved the full recording and you can catch up later on the saved video. That's all I all I wanted to share. Hi Nikisha, oh my goodness. Girl, I'm already done. I just went through a whole spiel, sharing my life experience this last year. Hopefully the live saves on my Facebook, because I know it was interrupted a few times. But thank you for joining. I appreciate. I will hold off for a few minutes. If you guys have any questions, you're more than welcome to ask. I know that this year going forward, I really would like to continue to come on live, share different types of movements that help me stay centered and grounded and improve my flexibility and my ability to release strong emotions. Again, like I said earlier, the ChairYoga was one of the simpler forms. I can become a bit intense with my movements. I would love to teach you guys to do a headstand as I continue to improve my alignment. And in the the months to come offering different levels of workshops. I'm all about health and wellness. I have used myself as an example. Any ailment, any struggle that I had, I did my own research and did my own healing. I definitely have come a long way from a person who had a desk job for 15 plus years and was en route to having to be required to get surgery on my neck for severe back pain, and now I am off any medication. I am perfectly healthy, flexible, agile, whatever you want to call it. Movement has been one of my greatest cures, along with nutrition, of course. Eating whole foods has been the second primary factor to my health, and that's what I would like to share with you guys. Whether it's basic or complex. I know that for some, what was common sense to me has not been for others, as they continue to be, some people are living in survival, so it's hard to be able to focus on their health or the nutrition or exposure to environmental factors like this. It's so many things that play into us being able to live a sustainable, healthy life. And I would like to help spread awareness into all those different factors. And besides that, let's see, that's it. But thank you guys. I see, hi Jack, I see that you joined. It's been a long time that I've seen you, talked to you. Nancy, hello, love you prima. Rosie, beautiful seeing you, thank you. Karen, Susan, oh my goodness, so many schoolmates. But yes, if I don't hear anything, any questions don't come up in the next 60 seconds, I'm ready to go. This was very nerve-wracking for me, but I am very happy to have allowed myself to break through the fear and do this live anyways. I can release it, let it go. It no longer holds me down. Thank you. I'm looking at two screens, so you know this. I'm also on YouTube. I'm not sure which one works better, but I did both of these platforms because I'm going to rewatch and see which one works better. I'm not sure if I'll continue to do dual platforms going forward, but we'll see. Okay. Well, I did get finished up early, but I thank you guys. I'm going to log off now. I appreciate those who joined me. I am forever grateful for the love, for the support, and for the community. Thank you.